A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Welcome to the virtual Queen City. Only the second time in Max v CNC Home Design's Truck Series history that we're here at the Quad Oval Mile and a Half. It's round number 11 of the first season of 2025 of the Max v CNC Home Design's Truck Series. And the team has reassembled after quite the leisurely couple weeks off for me. Tommy Cook back in action here tonight. Thank you to Matt Williamson for holding the fort. And thank you to Mr. Joshua Motichek as well. It's the Thursday team reunited here, partner. An interesting couple of weeks, the last couple races, including Talladega last week. But it feels good to be back together here on a Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Tommy. It's great to be back here with you. Matt is a joy, as always, but there's nothing like your usual Thursday night action with Max V.
Well, speaking of which, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Why don't we take a look at the points standings? With 5 rounds to go until we decide our final 12 for the postseason. It is very tight atop the board. Of course, Dakota Floyd was not in action last week at Talladega, so he loses out. He'll drop down to 3rd in the standings, but everybody on the left side of this leaderboard is pretty tight, and they're pretty comfortable to the cut line as well. Cannot say the same for the drivers on the right side of this graphic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're not only your top 5, but like you said, the whole left side all the way down to Charlie Widener is all super tight. Going to see a lot of shuffling up here in these next couple races as we get closer to the cut. But driver Will Kirk right there at the cut line. A couple of names on that right side that have had great showings, but just unable to make it stick at the end.
Well, you talk about making it stick. He was already quietly having a pretty good season. Talking about Matt Sisler, of course, he got that podium at Homestead Miami Speedway early on in the going and really cemented the fact that he was due for a breakout year. How about it the week that I miss, of course, or was scheduled to miss anyway? He goes and wins Talladega in an absolute thriller. You could not be happier for a guy like Matt Sisler, and he is balling out this season.
Yeah, he's been doing fantastic. Definitely won a lot like Dakota Floyd, just showing out and showing up, most importantly, making the finishes happen where they need to.
Well, qualifying is wrapping up here momentarily, and it's very interesting. 45 drivers on the entry list, and a new rule as of this week. Only 43 starters are going to be permitted in tonight's race, and there are several drivers who have not taken a time as of now. So that'll be an interesting ruling to see how they're going to determine who gets this 43rd and final spot when Rob Haynes, Brandon Groover, and Sean Ryan have yet to actually make a lap out on track. But Max V Admins will have about 5 seconds to decide that before we go racing here this evening under the lights at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's actually not under the lights. It was a sunrise, so I believe anyway. The sun is a little bit more. Happy to be here tonight after some medical issues and some career opportunities. And then last night, apologies to anybody that was not or was affected by the ASRL Sports Car Championship not being in action on Turn 200. We are back here tonight, though, and it is Raul Alves. How about that? With the quick time, the first of his polls here with Max V. Only his second appearance here on Thursday Night Trucks. Justin Michael is the only points-paying race winner at Charlotte Motor Speedway here in Max V previously. He will start on the outside of the front row. Scott Patton, Dakota Floyd. Are you surprised? That's row number 2. Matt Montabelt needing a bounce back here tonight. Will start in 5th. Aiden Young, great qualifying effort for the 069. He will line up in 6th. Row number 4 is Nathan Carroll on the inside. Heath Smith on the outside. Charlie Widener and Mark Jackson will round out your top 10. On row number 6, it is Tyler Starchett. He's outside Justin Ritchie, starting at P12. Jordan Neese and Will Kirk on row 7. It's Matt Sisler and Greg Mall on row 8. Dana Rogers, James Lehman way back there in the 18th starting position. Justin Bell and Peyton Bass will round out your top 20 starters. Mike Milfelt, Tyler Ebert, Rod Mitten, who is above the cut line now, starts in 23rd with Kerry Cleaver. Zachary Groover rounding out the top 25. To Groover's outside, it is Brad Slagle in 26th. Chris Sargent got a great finish last week inside the top 10. He will start in the 27th position tonight with Chris Braley to his outside. Wally Terheimer, podium finisher from last week, and Greg Parmalee will round out the top 30. And again, as we go a little bit further down this board, not entirely sure who is going to actually be in the race here tonight, but these are the drivers who are at least on the entry list. We'll try and get some confirmation to that as the drivers are gridding up here. Mr. Joshua Motichek, what are these drivers looking at here tonight in terms of some strategy and some race control notes?
Yeah, so strategy as far as that goes, 70% fuel as usual here for Max V on Thursday nights. We are looking around lap 33 to lap 35 for the pit window. Of course, having a stage break at the end of lap 25 will shake that up as we see week in and week out. 3 extra sets of tires is the usual. No fast repair. The incident limits do still stand. 16 incident limits is a drive-through, and 21 incidents will result in a disqualification.
Not out of the question. You would think pretty straightforward with these mile and a halves, but some high tire degradation. Goodness gracious. Easy for you to say. Here at Charlotte, cool track temperatures as well. It's going to be a high grip, which means even higher degradation for these drivers to deal with. I would not at all be surprised to see these drivers maybe overdrive it a little bit, especially on a cold track and cold tires. Maybe stack them up early. But I know we saw that a couple times on the restarts at Talladega last week. So going to be very interesting to see how these drivers handle it, especially with an absolutely packed house, not only in the virtual grandstands, not only out there in turn 200 lane, but this track is stuffed. 43 truck drivers about to get after it here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. First time pole sitter Raul Alves with Justin Michael, the winningest driver in Max V competition. Started his outside, and the green flag is out.
Good getaway for Alves on the bottom. Caution is out already.
Caution. Towards the back of the field, some slow drivers. Kyle Kabash is one of them. Not saying exactly where this one started, but we are, as I predicted, you know, I'm no Nostradamus, but not completely out of the question that we were going to have problems there early. Let's see if we can get this figured out. Some drivers starting in the pits. That's going to throw things off just a bit. Yeah, this is all jacked up. So we had to do a full iRacing reinstall. You heard the spotter there just a minute ago. That's never what you want to hear. We're watching from this infield camera. Certainly somebody is not going there on that outside line and is quite slow. It looks like Bill Paradise. So we'll see if we can find any camera whatsoever to take a look at this at, and it does not seem like we're going to be able to do it. All right, we've found Bill Paradise here on camera 7. We'll back it up. Oh, yeah, Chris Sargent there in the 66 truck on the inside, spinning the tires. Oh, there was several drivers involved in that one. That is never what you want. Sargent will have some damage. Bill Paradise will have some damage. A couple other drivers may have some minor damage, and you could deal with that pretty easily. But that is what has put us under the caution here as these drivers are trying to catch back up to the pace truck coming down the pit road.
Hang on, we're not going green. Not going green.
Waved off the green flag. The other problem with this is sometimes iRacing kind of gets messed up. If you don't have the entire field cross the stripe on the first lap before the caution comes out, it can get a little wonky from time to time. That may be what is happening here. Because this is your pole sitter and race leader, Raul Alves, and he is at the tail end of the field, scored as the race leader, and he's bringing, it looks like everybody that managed to cross the stripe before the caution came out to the tail end of this field, and now they are allowing everybody in front of them to pass the pace truck. So we'll just pretend like none of it happened. In the meantime, hello to the Moticheks, Bailey and Robin. Yes, I'm happy I get to spend an evening with Joshua as well. Thank you very much. And yes, the intro ads are quite quotable. That's I always know where we are anytime I'm doing a race with Matt in the intro, because the Echo Blade ad will come on and he'll just start making the noises of people getting impaled with swords. So we'll start going, huh, huh. It's like, well, I know we got about a minute and a half until we're live on air. Don't even have to ask.
It's a good timestamp reference.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I think we should be good to go back green here this time. Always fun to start off the race with a little confusion and calamity.
Yeah, starting off Talladega last week also had similar instance happen where there was a caution that was pulled before everyone passed the start-finish line. Talladega being start-finish line past the tri-oval, so that definitely caused some issues as well that they had to work through.
You talk about a relatively short stage to open this up, just 25 laps. Well, now it's 20, because we're coming to green on lap 6. So, I mean, we've burnt quite a bit, and the lights are still on the pace truck, so I'm not too sure that we're not going to do another lap under the caution here. Regardless, I mean, we're just counting away the laps, and that only serves to just increase the aggression that much more at the front of this field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look further back, drivers like Mike Milfield in 22nd, Wally Turheimer down in 29th. A lot of guys who usually don't qualify to start at the rear, having to qualify and put in times. So going to be interesting to see how on a measly 19 lap stint to the stage break, how these drivers who need the points can get through this very large field.
Well, you kind of saw it on one of the longer shots there, talking about Wally Turheimer. Big podium finish last week at Talladega. That was great to see. But feeling the effects of that crash, he's got some front-end damage that he will need to get fixed here under a regular caution. And, he knows he has one coming up here, like you said, in about 19 laps. But how about Raul Alves here in the 38 truck, leading the pack? Justin Michael. And I keep saying points-paying race winner because we did have the All-Star race here last May, and that went to Andrew Schulte, if I'm not mistaken. Justin Michael's points-paying victory was an absolute barn burner, down to a few thousandths of a second over Will Kirk, as they were beating and banging to the stripe. So Michael knows how to win them at the mile and a half, and he eked one out here in the only points-paying race that Max V has ever had here in the Queen City. We'll see if we can get off to a better start. Appreciate everybody that has stuck it out through the opening 6 laps under the caution. Lap number 7 will go up on the board this time.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out. Very good jump from Alves. Justin Michael going to drop in line. Scott Patton going to look for an opportunity to get around him and not going to find it into turn 1.
Yeah, Patton was certainly searching around, looking back there side by side. Floyd on the outside of Aiden Young. In the 069 there in the red. Floyd in the orange. A lot of talk about gorillas lately, and there's the Gorilla Glue, number 57. Previously the points leader, up to 4th.
Caution's out again.
We saw somebody make a beeline there in the quad oval for the outside wall. I'm not too sure that's not where our issue was, though. Again, hard to find. I am seeing Wally Turheimer, and he is towed to the pits, so he may have been involved in this one, but that's caution number 2. And again, it just serves to ramp up the intensity that much more. So, looking through, trying to find what may have caused this caution. Again, we're looking for Wally Turheimer here. And it is not wanting to cooperate. So there's Wally. You see him spinning on the bottom of the track. He had a lot of damage on this front end, maybe just trying to get to pit road. And he cuts out there. So I'm going to assume that he came back up onto the track. Doesn't look like he was really around anybody else, but if he spun back up onto the track, that is certainly what will bring out caution number 2. And apologies, so we're trying to get the graphics dialed back in. I had to completely reinstall iRacing today, along with a full PC diagnostic. We went to stream the ASRL Sports Car Championship last night, and my PC repeatedly crashed over and over and over again. It was an absolute disaster. The ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosports. Tape delayed broadcast should be up sometime tomorrow, Lord willing. Waiting to get the replay file for that, but also wanted to make sure that we were actually, good. I didn't need to send it off to a shop somewhere. But a full reinstall seems to have done the trick, but some of our settings are still a little bit wonky. That's why you hear the spotter in the background. That's why he's also Australian, because that's the default instead of Steve Letarte, which is who I normally use. And it looks a little bit different as well. It may just be the lighting around the track, but the colors seem a little bit different And yeah, some of our car draw limits are weird. That's why object permanence for some of the drivers at the back of the field seems to be a problem currently. But under this caution, it doesn't seem like more than maybe just a couple drivers have been on pit road. Kyle Kabash in particular. Chris Surgeon has fallen a couple laps down, getting damage fixed from our opening caution. But outside of that, everybody towards the front of this field has stayed put. Pole sitter roll, all this is still leading the way. Handy work there by Justin Michael to defend against Scott Patton. You talk about racing drivers that are maybe a bit unknown to you. That would be Michael and Alvis. Justin Michael and Scott Patton know each other pretty well from over a decade of racing with one another.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot of back and forth between these two, as well as throw drivers like James Lehman in the mix. And you get some pretty good battles between drivers who have done it more than just a couple times.
We've got a couple of big movers thus far, none bigger than Brandon Groover, who started shotgun on the field. He is now up to 29, so that's plus 14 for him. Riley Laverne is plus 7 from 32nd up to 25th. And Ryan McRoberts up 11 from 41st to 30th.
Lots of room in a field this big to move forward, that's for sure.
Certainly. Top 4 have stayed put. Alvis, Michael, Floyd, and Patton. Nathan Carroll has moved up a spot into the top 5. Aiden Young has stayed put right where he is in 6th.
If one thing stands true, these two cautions have done wonders for fuel save.
Certainly have. And anybody that was worried about some tire deg, well, they don't have to worry that much anymore on a much shorter run to the stage break. Lap 12 on the board this time. Good jump for Raul up front.
Patton gonna be drawn alongside Michael going into 1. It's a much better start for this inside line. Michael gonna tuck in line coming out of 2, followed by Dakota Floyd.
Big momentum there for Patton. Up to 2nd. Floyd right here looking to capitalize. He'll sneak underneath, or at least take a peek down low underneath Justin Michael. But Michael going back on offense here, trying to close the gap. There was one in the wall. I'm not too sure it wasn't Heath Smith. Still has some kind of momentum, but they are really stacked up around this top 10 bubble.
Yeah, it looked like Charlie Widener had to ease out of it there as Heath Smith lost momentum.
Speaking of big movers, just behind them, James Lehman is up 5 spots. He's looking to crack inside the top 10. Meanwhile, back towards the front, Justin Michael right in the wall there through 3 and 4, trying to take a big run to Scott Patton here for 2nd. As all this continues to lead, Floyd is backing up to Aiden Young. Car slow in the apron was Bill Paradise, multiple laps down.
Patton into the wall ever so slightly. Doesn't ruin the run he has, though. Michael and Patton now looking at Alvis's back door.
Alvis showing truck number 31, scored as number 38, and Patton is into the wall there. A much bigger shot. And trying to find any way through here on Alvis to take over the top spot. Now hoping that he didn't knock a wheel out of alignment there. These top 3 have pulled away from the rest of the pack. It is not just a Scott Patton issue. You look further back on some of these long tracking shots down the straightaways, multiple drivers are finding their way into the wall out of the corners. Talk about low temperatures and high grip. It may not be high enough for some of these drivers for how hard they are trying to push these vehicles. As we say hello to Rob Haynes in the chat. And yeah, somebody who just had plenty of equipment issues myself. That is never fun. Appreciate you stopping by, and we'll hope to catch you again next week at Nashville Super Speedway. I mean, these guys are all over the joint. Side by side from 4th on through the rest of the field, pretty much.
Lots of good action here for you.
Keep our eyes on the battle for the top 3, but right now you're watching Nathan Carroll in 6th trying to fend off everybody. Literally everybody back to Matt Sisler there in 18th.
One might not think of Charlotte as pack racing, but they're definitely proving it true here.
We were almost 3 wide there for the lead through the quad oval, but Scott Patton muscles his way underneath Alvis, and now Michael goes door to door with Rawl there. As Patton, the new race leader, they're banging doors for second down the backstretch, racing each other hard in the closing laps of the stage.
Going to be Alvis in second at the line. Michael with the bottom here. At this point in the run, the middle starts to be the more preferred line. Very tight off of 2.
Floyd and Young.
This battle here is going to be bringing Dakota Floyd and Aiden Young into the mix.
Yes, certainly is. Even though they're side by side battling themselves, they're still making time on these two. They're able to get a little single file and slipstreamy every now and again. So we welcome in the Will Kirk crew. Hello to Marilyn Beck and Michelle Kirk.
Michael going to slide up, coming off of 2. Alvis is going to look to the bottom into 3. Big run. Looks like he taps the apron.
Michael going to be bringing a big shot here to the back bumper of the 46. Bails out, finds a little ground up top, and now they're side by side with 5 to go in the stage.
Dakota Floyd on a mission now, caught up to these top 3.
And even in a shorter run like this, he's still able to back up and save a little bit of tire, which is normally what Justin Michael does. The other thing Justin Michael usually does is lead laps, and now he's going to do that. Patton really pushing that truck up the hill, but new leader, 87, Michael on point at Charlotte. Alvis now having to scrap to hang on to 3rd. Floyd will take it up top. Aiden Young is right here as well.
Alvis still barely scraping that apron round 1 and 2. Floyd's going to have a run this time.
And for the Will Kirk crew, there he is, running in the 8th position. Having a good stage thus far, and he needs the points.
Scott Patton, some issues off of 4. He's going to get under fire from Alvis. 2 wide, 2 deep.
You saw just behind these 4, Justin Ritchie may have gotten up into the wall into turn number 4. There's Alvis, and he gets the shot there from Patton. Not clear. That's the kind of tight quarters you have to operate in here. Coming to 2 to go in the stage, and these guys are all over each other.
Here comes Floyd off of 4 on Patton with a mega run. Aiden Young going to try and follow suit.
Patton fading here with a lap and 3/4 to go. All this back up to 2nd. Floyd to 3rd. Young to the inside of Patton for 4th. But it's all Justin Michael up front, as that was Nathan Carroll, I believe, that just got up into the wall down the backstretch. They are fighting for the points in the back half of the top 10 here quite hard. Justin
3
Michael.
wide off of 4.
This is Lehman.
And the caution is
Caution.
out. That is your stage.
I believe Greg Parmalee. Oh, yeah. Parked it backwards there in the quad oval. So problems for the 04 truck. Brings out the end of the stage just a little bit earlier than it was going to happen. Justin Michael will cross the stripe and take himself 10 bonus points. The defending Charlotte track winner and the current series points leader. Raul Alvis, the pole sitter. Solid second place run. Dakota Floyd in 3rd. Scott Patton 4th. Aiden Young will finish in 5th. Justin Ritchie a part of that massive scrap, with Will Kirk, who will finish in 7th. Nathan Carroll in 8th. Heath Smith in 9th. And James Lehman will take 1 point. He goes +8. You know, everybody will be down pit road here. We'll recap that for you here in just a moment. But of course, now I have lost where this crash happened. So I have to sift all the way through. Looks like Ryan McRoberts may have also been involved here. And of course, it's going to cut out. So you kind of see how it starts with Parmalee seemingly getting turned. I mean, it's impossible to tell without the rest of the picture there. And also not knowing where, well, Ryan McRoberts is going to be to his outside here. And from the looks of it there, they both are converging. But again, it's impossible to know for sure. But there you can see the end result. McRoberts with damage. Parmalee stuck against the outside wall. Backwards there in the quad oval. But it looked like they were just migrating towards one another. As the race off pit road goes to Justin Michael.
Justin Ritchie getting a very good pit cycle.
Yes, indeed.
Come out in third.
Floyd out second, Ritchie out third. But Ritchie is slowing down here a little bit on the apron. Maybe Elvis beat him out, or maybe Ritchie has some kind of a penalty because he has let a few drivers get past here. We'll have to wait to see if he continues to drop positions here. It may have been too good, which is never what you want. Or maybe he just gassed it on the apron. By the way, that's a spot gain for Dakota Floyd. Elvis back to third. Patton fourth, and Ritchie is staying here in fifth for now. So maybe he's good there. Aiden Young drops back to sixth. Will Kirk maintains in seventh. Nathan Carroll, James Lehman up one, and Charlie Widener up one as well. Heath Smith drops a couple back into 11th. Haven't talked much about your last week's race winner, Matt Sisseler. He started 15th. He's up to 12th. So, bit of a quiet night. Back in the regular colors tonight.
Always nice on the brain to see the usual for everybody.
Yeah. It's fun to mix it up every now and again. You ran the special colors Tuesday night at Talladega as well.
I sure did. Good old tribute to Mr. Matt Williamson.
Yeah, he loved it.
Didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it to, but
yeah,
we were there enough.
It really was a tribute to Matt Williamson because we haven't talked about this at all, but from the looks of it, it looks like the spotter gave you the wrong pit box to come into on your pit stop.
No, I good old super speedway pitting from myself, sliding completely through my box into the next box.
All right, this could be the run to the checkers. Probably won't be, but it could be. Justin Michael back in control. And cloud cover has overtaken Charlotte Motor Speedway. Good start there from the inside. Elvis pushing Michael clear, and he's able to get up in front of Floyd and Patton.
Yeah, Floyd not so hot of a start. Gonna drop back to the fourth position. Elvis up to second with a big run on your leader here. Gonna look to the inside into turn 3.
Rawl ain't messing around. Oh, Michael's loose!
Michael's loose.
Good save. But he will lose the lead. Elvis is back on point now. Patton to the outside of the 57 of Dakota Floyd. And there's still a lot to settle here from your side-by-side battle for third onward. Oh, one hard in the wall. I believe that was Nathan Carroll. That was a big shot.
Very far off pace here.
He goes all the way outside of the top 10, trying to regain that momentum. Hopefully hasn't knocked anything loose on the front end of that truck. Charlie Widener just took a bite out of the wall there as well, running in 9th.
It creeps up on you.
Yeah, like Rob Haynes mentioned in the chat, it's contagious. Especially once you hit it the first time, it seems like it's impossible to keep yourself out of it. Again and again and again. Just that aero damage seems to just magnetize to the wall. And part of it's a mental game as well, I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, I know.
Mention big movers. James Lehman now up to the 6th position. Still up 3 spots from restarting just a few laps ago.
That's a big plus 12 for driver 50. I was a bit surprised to see him back there starting in the 18th position. But he has made pretty good work of the field thus far, even with 3 cautions, all of them coming from behind him. He's still picked up positions pretty religiously. Hello to... Oh, we've got a caution. There's one in the wall.
Oh, one upside down.
Holy cow, that's Jordan Neese. Goodness gracious.
And sliding.
Well, he's able to go. Oh my lord. That is not something we see often here at the 1.5 miles. That's unfortunately has been par for the course for Jordan Neese here this season. Oh, and it lands right in his lap. We'll back this up. Not too sure that wasn't Nathan Carroll.
I believe so.
So we'll have to back it up a little bit more. So here's Carroll. We just mentioned him taking a big shot out of the wall, and looks like he had some help there from Jordan Neese as well. But Neese getting ping-ponged around will find his way onto his lid. I'll back this up. Get a different angle. And try and get it in slow motion here. If I can remember how to do that. One more try. So there's a shot from Neese. He gets down into the right side door of Will Kirk. And then Carroll right back up the track. And then Neese is going to shoot down the track. Looks like he's going to hit Greg Mall. And Mall sends Neese back into Carroll, and that is what's going to send this 12 truck upside down.
He slid through the entirety of turn 3.
Now, it's funny to say, I mean, he'll have plenty of damage from the rest of it, but the roofs don't take damage in iRacing. So if that was the worst of it, he would be fine, but it is not the worst of it. He'll have damage on all 4 corners of this truck as we ride along. Not often when you're sliding like that on your roof do you get back up onto your wheels, especially the second slower rollover. You normally are not getting uprighted without a helping hand.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is Neese's second time being upside down at a 1.5 miles.
Yeah, it would not surprise me. He has had a rough go, to say the least. What I was about to say before we were under the caution there was hello to copium abuser. That's funny. This is a fixed league, so it's not a split. This is a league race, but it is fixed setup. So we're due for 100 laps here tonight in regulation. Already 4 cautions, and a bit of a messy one to kick things off here tonight. We talked about maybe it would happen early, and we talked about the aggression level being high. Certainly, aggression has been high tonight.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. Dakota Floyd looks like he has pitted. So he is back in the 25th spot.
Oh boy.
Curious to see how that puts him, as most of the top 10 did not come in. So maybe more of a long play strategy game like we usually see from Floyd.
A few of the heavier hitters are back there as well. Heath Smith, Charlie Widener, Matt Sisseler also back there outside of the top 20. But you're right, the majority of the drivers at the front of this field did not come in under this caution. Coming to restart here on lap 37, working our fourth caution of the race. It is your pole sitter, Raul Alvis, at the front of the field with Justin Michael to his outside. Boy, it has paid to be the control car thus far tonight. Michael does not get a great jump, and he's already under fire from his teammate Patton.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to duck in line right behind Patton, try and minimize the damage, get back into the draft. James Lehman up to 5th on that restart. Taking the spot away from Kirk.
Lehman is moving and shaking here. Up 13 spots into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Really, with a couple drivers pitting in front of him, those are really the first spots that he's kind of picked up all night. The rest of them have been on-track passes, as you saw a big wheel swapper there for Will Kirk, who's going to lose a couple spots and find himself in the middle of 3 wide here, headed into turn number 3. Luckily, Matt Montebault rolls out of that one.
Those 3 wide doesn't end up the way you want it to here, that's for sure.
No. Justin Michael fending off Aiden Young, but he's going to have to start worrying about James Lehman here. Lehman is rocking and rolling. Rob Haynes said that top line was coming in a little bit ago. Lehman is trying to use it to his advantage here.
Yeah, when the Venom Truck Series raced here a few weeks ago, the top line was the place to be for most of the race.
Maybe still
Greg Mall starting to slice through here inside of the top 5 now, using that outside line.
Your reigning series champion. One of the top 5 for the first time tonight. Maybe some of that Venom Truck Series rubber is still laid down on the track. That might be what it is. I'm thinking it might have rained between now and then.
Maybe a couple times.
Another big mover, Rod Mitten, is up into the top 10 for the first time tonight. He's right on the cut line, looking at the points. But, man, the way that he's raced this season, he shouldn't be.
Millfield. Hard hit the wall.
Yeah, kicked up a lot of dust there. But Rod Mitten has missed a few races here this season. That's why he's in that position. But, man, he has done fantastic work here all season long. Not a shock at all to see him in this top 10. Patton half a second behind Alvis, and he's got James Lehman right behind him here as well. As Justin Michaels faded to 5th, Greg Ball is up to 4th. Lehman going to take a stab at it.
Not quite able to get alongside. Still about half a truck width back.
James Lehman, very much a Jeremy McKinnon type that you race with on Tuesday nights. He pushes hard early in the run. Scott Patton is very much the middle ground where he tries to distribute it as evenly as possible, whereas you see what Justin Michael's doing right now. That is his usual MO, to save early and push hard later. And honestly, Michael has more wins, but I think all 3 of them probably have about the same average finish. So who's to say whose strategy works? Lehman is certainly working hard, pulling the Nathan Reynolds strategy, putting those left side tires down on the paint, which apparently have a little bit more grip. Trying to pull that truck around on the bottom of the track. Not working for him right now, though. Scott Patton is manipulating the aero quite well to hang on to 2nd.
Lots of back and forth looking at different lines, looking a little bit further back. Millfelt trying around the outside of Michael.
And Michael
kind of leveled out here in this stint after the last caution.
Michael usually does not like to drop any further back than this if he doesn't have to. So he'll fight a little bit harder to keep that 5th position than he did to hang on to 4th or 3rd. I want to keep our eye as well on Dakota Floyd. He is up to 14th. And problems. Peyton Bass is off the track. And we'll bring it back on. I think Kyle Kabash may have been involved in this as well, but that is caution number 5 here, just before the halfway mark of the race. And there's Kabash slow in the quad oval, so we will back it up and see. I see maybe problems for Billy Bumgardner as well, and that has some championship implications because he is a little tight to the cut line right now, but he is in a chase position at the drop of the green here tonight. So we started on the kickpot cam here, but we're riding along with, I believe, Kyle Kabash, and just as soon as I switch the camera, he disappears. Because why would the replays cooperate with me here tonight? There's Kabash's involvement in that. We'll go looking for Billy Bumgardner. He is slow on the bottom of the track here as well, so we'll back this up. May have been multiple accidents kind of rolled into one, and of course, we're not going to get to see it. Oh, this is lovely. The joys of having to redo all of your settings.
You say that, but I'm having the same issues on my end as well.
That is one of the drawbacks of having so many people running in the league. It's great, you know. So you need to show a replay. So, not entirely sure what caused the issues there for Billy Bumgardner, but Kyle Kabash going for a spin, and Peyton Bass going off the track as well. That will trigger caution number 5. A few drivers down pit road. Looks like Scott Patton led the drivers into the pits. Actually, Raul Alvis did from the race lead. So Alvis now looks like he will restart in 15th as the first driver down pit road. Alvis led some laps last week at Talladega, but ended up with a 23rd place finish. That's his only start with Max V on Thursday nights to date. Honestly, I'm a couple weeks behind on watching the Monday ARCA series on the Virtual Grip Network, so I can't tell you what he's done there. We'll have to play a little catch-up before next race. There are a lot of new names since they started that Monday ARCA series. They've actually capped registration now, so you cannot join Max V any longer. But anybody that joined for Monday ARCA racing is also allowed to come race trucks on Thursday night. They'll just not be in it for the points here for the first season of 2025. Good thing for them is they'll only have to wait, a month or two before season number 2 of 2025 kicks into gear, and they can go for a championship then.
Yeah, definitely seeing a lot of new names pop up who can seemingly run at the front with a lot of the usual Max V front runners.
Yeah, you talk about a lot of new names at the front of this field. The guy that finished second last week isn't even here. And it was his first or second start last week at Talladega, and he finished second. Zach Saunders.
Yeah, Saunders, two races, first 2 races goes P2 and P2 back to back. So definitely not a bad way to start.
No.
Your truck series run with Max V.
We'll be 1 lap shy of halfway here at the stripe. James Lehman now in control of the field. Greg Mull, Will Kirk, Justin Michael, Dakota Floyd, and Zachary Groover, the top 6. Again, Lehman with the good jump there on the bottom. Inside is
Maul.
plugged there for Maul. Justin Michael takes second.
Looks like we've got one slow further back. Michael looking for the lead, coming off of 4. Not going to have it. Lehman with the run up top. Going to tuck back in line. Will Kirk now takes it from Greg Maul to take the 3rd spot. Dakota Floyd looking around the outside of Maul. Oh, we got one slow further back.
One in the wall hard.
And we'll split him. Looks like
Problems down.
Will come out.
One spinning, and around goes Brandon Groover, and he collects Scott Patton.
Oh no.
That is big time damage for Patton, and you could see the motor smoking on this 41 truck. That all started with whoever got into the wall at turn number 2. Really got this field bottled up. And Patton making the strategy move to come down pit road here at the halfway mark of the race, and unfortunately he is going to pay for it. And so will Brandon Groover, who
looks like, from what I can tell, the slow truck off of 2 had nothing to do with this incident. Looks like 2 separate incidents here.
So there is not the accident. This is Brandon Groover, what you just saw, pulling it off the track. All right, let's back this up and see if we can identify at least who got into the wall here. The 24?
Justin
Ritchie, yeah. You're right.
Yep.
So Ritchie, and this is Scott Patton underneath him, and it does not... We're not going to get a much better angle than that, but it does not look like they actually made any contact there. It looked like they had a little bit of space between them. But there goes Ritchie into the wall with help from at least the hitbox of Scott Patton. Then we follow Patton further up here. And that is Alvis, who gets turned.
Yeah, Alvis and Zachary Groover.
So then Zachary Groover comes up right in front of Brandon Groover, who has to slow down. And Scott Patton, with nowhere to go, piles into the back of the 41 truck. And pow. Big shot for the 41. And that is certainly not... That's not good damage there for Scott Patton. I don't think Patton came down pit road, though. Let's take this at full speed and just see how this all shakes out from the kickpot of Scott Patton. And at turn number 3, here's Ritchie in front. There is just about exactly a truck width to work with there. So that's unfortunate between those two, whether it was contact or not. Then there's all this with help from Zachary Groover. Patton trying to slow down, gets into Brandon Groover. And that is 8X in half a lap for Scott Patton. And pretty significant damage as well. Very interesting.
So it looks like Patton electing to stay out. Regardless of this damage, he will be restarting in 9th.
Trying to get a good look at it. And of course, he's got that donut on the door of his paint scheme. That's not real. And you can see it's a little... I honestly thought it would be worse, but there is certainly quite a bit of damage there on the front end of that 46 truck. Regardless, his two teammates at the front of this field, James Lehman and Justin Michael, are going to lead this field back to green. Will Kirk in third, trying to follow up his runner-up performance here from last fall. And it is Dakota Floyd back up to 4th. Slightly fresher rubber than your front 3.
Green, green, green.
Back to it, lap 55.
Better getaway for Michael that time. Gonna be able to stay alongside Lehman into turn 1.
That is
Kirk and Floyd very close into 1.
That's about as good of a restart as we've seen from the non-control car thus far. As Michael is looking around, he'll dive to the inside looking for the lead.
Down into turn 3, Michael with a good dive. Lehman having the momentum line on the outside, gonna come back. It's gonna be Lehman at the stripe by a nose.
Couple drivers off the track. Tyler Ebert. Ebert is off. Problems for Justin Bell. He is slow in the grass there in the quad oval, and we're under caution here for the 7th time. And I believe Lehman was the leader at the time. Oh, man. Not Aiden Young. Oh, boy. There's some damage on the 069 truck. There on that left front wheel well. Missing a fender cover there. We'll back up and see what happened here. Is cautions breeding cautions here at Charlotte. We have a notification for a crash. All I see is people going off track. Already off track there. This is with Justin Bell. See Ryan McRoberts spinning. Boy, that's quite the stack up behind the actual accident. Okay, so it's going to start with Aiden Young in the 069. As soon as I can find him here. And that is Scott Patton loose in front of them. So trying to hang on with this aero damage. Oh, he gets a big shot there. And that was the 19 truck of Riley Laverne. That's going to send Young spinning off the stack up there with Laverne and Patton. And still trucks careening every which way. There goes Bell. The 96 of Tyler Ebert there as well with a little bit of contact. Nowhere for Bell or Ebert, or really for Young and Laverne to go either, with Patton having to make that save there on the bottom of the track. Boy, it has very quickly become the no good, very bad race for Scott Patton in the 46 truck. He went from mixing it up on strategy, looking for a win, to maybe parking it for the night. I don't know. It's been a rough go, though. We will try and back this up and try again.
Oh boy, I just noticed that Aiden Young gets into the barrels on the pit lane entry.
Aha. I was wondering where that left front damage came from, and that'll certainly do it. Still looking for the replay marker here. So many things are happening, we've kind of lost it. And we're still in the kickpot cam here. We'll back this up for Aiden Young. Oh, yeah, you can see him kiss it right there, and something definitely broken there on the 069 truck. You can see how quickly it's stacked up there with Patton getting loose, Ebert into Bell. Just that little boop, and that'll take care of it.
Yeah, with the way that this track runs on older tires, as the race gets deep into it, these trucks get very, very free mid-corner. Definitely not taking much to get these trucks around.
You can see behind them some drivers slowing up for the accident, some drivers not slowing up for the accident, and that's always lovely. So that was what causes the accident there with Billy Bumgardner, Trent Drum, and others. Team Greg, let's go. Well, Team Greg is up to P5 right now. Assuming we're talking about Greg Mall anyway, the reigning series champion. No give and take. Certainly could use a little bit more here. 7 cautions already, just past the halfway mark of the event. And hello to Martha Turheimer hanging out with us, as well as Wild Dish and David Tabullo as well. Lehman and Michael, we're having a great side-by-side battle. Lehman gonna take the outside here. Unless Michael was the leader at the time of the caution, and I don't think he was. Guess we'll know here in a second.
Green, green, green.
And there goes Lehman.
And a pretty good
Still a
job.
good getaway.
Lehman's a good restarter, especially when he's in control. Oh, that's Nathan Carroll. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry that you have to be in the chat and not on the track. It's certainly been a little bit rougher of a race than I'm sure the admins were hoping for here tonight, but the racing at the front of the field has been exquisite. Lehman and Michael.
3 wide into 3 for the top 10.
There's Mitten there down on the bottom.
Caution, yellow.
And more
out
problems.
again.
Jack Watts. Oh my God, it's a parking lot. Goodness gracious. Watts above the cut line coming into tonight. There's Scott Patton again. Goodness. Oh boy, oh boy. That's caution number 8.
Man, oh man, Patton. Not his night.
All right, so we're with Jack Watts here. He's the HendrickCars.com number 77 on the bottom of the track. There you can see one getting turned in front of him. Not too sure that isn't Laverne. Hard to tell with the shade. And then all hell breaking loose. All of a sudden, there's Mark Jackson getting turned. Watts down. Oh, into the barrels and straight back across the track. Goodness. There's Bell, Patton. I think that's the 013 of Caden Moreland. Goodness gracious. I mean, there's one small choke point on this track, and they found it and exploited it there. I mean, anybody from behind Jack Watts onward was not getting through that. Let's see who we could see. Trent Drum there in the pits. Bill Paradise. Let's ride on board with the People's Champ here and see this. Oh, don't tell me. I just want to see one replay tonight, please. Well, you can see the end of it there, but that's not quite what we were looking for. Let's back up and go on board with Justin Bell, because we know he got a big piece of that one. Off the gas, on the brake, looking for a lane, and then Watts, I mean, he had a pinball bumper and just got flung straight back out into the track. And that is 2 in a row for the 60 truck. That's not the 2 in a row you want to be involved in 2 cautions in a row.
Definitely not.
Boy, oh boy. Well, now Lehman off the good jump there on the outside. Must not have liked it all that much. He goes back to the bottom. Very interesting.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get up there and try it.
I mean, you and I aren't in that truck, but, I mean, that looked pretty good to me.
It was good enough to get him clear, but maybe it depends on who he wants behind him.
That could also be. You would think he would want his buddy, Dakota Floyd, behind him. Not that there's anything wrong with having Will Kirk behind you. But, you know, Lehman and Floyd are friends in real life. And Floyd is on a tear in his rookie season here with Max V. But maybe Lehman just trying to keep Justin Michael on his toes. And He's certainly keeping us on our toes in the booth here. It's been a great race for James Lehman. Started way back in 18th. And, he has been unstoppable here tonight. I would imagine he needs another pit stop here, but he'll be close to getting in the window with a couple more cautions or about 10 more laps of green flag race in action. We'll see if we can get that. Work on our 8th caution of the night already. Lehman and Michael on the front row, and back to it.
And good getaway for Lehman. Michael going to be able to tuck in behind him.
Yeah, Kirk going
to take the 3rd spot. And Charlie Widener, very good restart. Going to look for that 4th spot with Aiden Young making it 3 wide. Very close racing off the 2.
All of us sticking it to the bottom here. And Floyd hanging in there. All of us clear up. Boy, that was tight.
Caution is out again.
Oh, goodness. I'm not even sure. It might be Scott Patton. And he is already back into the pits. Not 100% sure, though. Peyton Bass. We keep going to the cockpit cam here. Here's Bass in the 82. He's going to break loose all by himself. And there's the trifecta for Laverne. Ooh, boy. Well, that one wasn't too terrible. Certainly, if the rear tires are not going to stay underneath of you, there's not a whole lot that you could do. Nowhere for Riley Laverne to go on that one, but that will put us under the 9th caution. Take a peek here. Track temperature has only gone up 3 degrees from the drop of the green flag. But the way these trucks are kind of slipping and sliding here, granted, some aero damage coming into effect as well, but you would think that these drivers are, battling like 100-degree track temperatures. That is not the case. Comfortably in the mid-70s, as the majority of the drivers who had not come down pit road since the stage are down pit road currently, led by Justin Michael and James Lehman. Matt Sisseler wins the race off. Lehman out 2nd, Michael 3rd, Will Kirk 4th, and Charlie Widener will be out 5th. But they will restart from 12th on back, as Raul Alvis now will be back in control of this field. Dakota Floyd will be in 2nd, Matt Montalbot, Michael Milfelt, and Tyler Starcher will be your top 5. Kerry Cleaver, Chris Braley, Tyler Ebert, Chucky Walden, Heath Smith, the top 10. Dana Rogers, the other driver to stay out under this caution, will be in 11th. I think that's the first time we've called out Chucky Walden's name all night tonight, and you know what? That's not such a bad thing.
At the rate it's going, I definitely wouldn't want my name to be spoken up here in the booth.
Well, he's got the hard charger right now. He's plus 24 and inside the top 10. Hopefully he can keep it going. But the big dogs are all behind him now, and they are looking to eat on fresh tires. But if I were the drivers on fresher tires, even knowing that these drivers in front of me still will have to make another pit stop, presumably anyway, I don't want to see Raul Alvis or Dakota Floyd up on the front row of this restart. I mean, those are two drivers. If we start to continue to have cautions here, I don't want them behind me on fresh tires late in the race, or, if we catch a caution at a weird point, I don't want them pitting in front of me with the track position either.
Yeah, Raul Alvis showing that he has very, very fast restarts. Watched him cut it up a few times. But Dakota Floyd still being on the oldest tires here. Hasn't pit since lap 35.
Oh, boy.
So he definitely will be one to watch to come in fairly early here.
Today's aerial coverage brought to you by, I don't know, Yamaha. Why not? Lots of space behind Walden there, as the pace truck should be off this time. We'll come back to green on lap 68 after 9 cautions thus far.
Green, green, green.
Almost with a good jump. Dakota Floyd should be good enough to keep Montembault off into turn 1. Millfeld outside of Montembault looking for that 3rd spot. Harry Cleaver rounding out your top 6, and a good gap from them to the rest of the field.
Side by side for P7, it's Tyler Ebert on the outside of Heath Smith, as Smith going to motor forward with Matt Sisseler, the first driver, presumably on fresh tires, although he gained quite a few positions there on pit road. Sisseler moving to shake it, so is Justin Michael.
Yeah, Justin Michael coming.
There goes Chucky Walden. We jinxed him. Oh, he saved it. That thing was all but junked out of turn number 2. I don't know how he's still rolling. Hats off. But we definitely jinxed him either way. How about Matt Montembault challenging for second here with Dakota Floyd? They're battling hard behind them. Millfeld, Cleaver, and Starcher. 2nd through 6th, all under a blanket, all chasing Raul Alvis, the race leader here, with 69 laps complete, coming to put lap 70 in the books.
Alvis with a very James Lehman-like pace here out front, getting off to almost a 2nd lead after just a couple laps.
Sisseler getting ready to challenge Heath Smith as they're still side by side in front of Smith. Millfeld gets some separation, but Cleaver and Starcher still going at it.
Justin Michael. Oh, Millfeld in the wall. Heath Smith looking to the bottom, 3 wide across the stripe. Sisseler gonna try and put it through the grass to find the spot into 1.
Little dip of the left side tires into the AstroTurf, never hurt. Sisseler continues to march forward. Justin Michael is in the picture. James Lehman's back in 16th. He did not get a good restart.
Michael and Widener are on the hunt. Gonna go underneath Sisseler.
Problems for Bill Paradise. We're going to stay green. He jumps to the pits. Assuming that's what that smoke is down the back straightaway. But Michael now through on Sisseler. Widener looking to do the same. As Matt Montembault, he's trying to do work here on Raul Alvis' lead. But unfortunately, the pack is catching Montembault more than Montembault is catching your race leader. Floyd into the wall just a bit. Kerry Cleaver battling inside the top 5. And now this is Heath Smith looking to the inside. Nothing happening yet. There's Michael door to door, wheel to wheel with Tyler Starcher. As Floyd
to pit.
with no choice but to come down pit road. You mentioned he hadn't been in since lap 35. And that would put him 5 laps past the fuel window that we had, even with all those cautions. That is still quite the stretch there. Floyd was banking on one too many cautions.
Yeah, definitely a money game there on that pit cycle. If it goes green, I don't think it's going to pay off for him.
Starcher to the outside of Widener. This is Widener trying to move forward. Matt Sisseler defending hard against Greg Mall to try and hang in 8th. As Widener now goes to work on Kerry Cleaver. And Michael goes to work on Starcher. Heath Smith catching Matt Montembault in the 21 truck pretty quickly here, and he will look to make a move.
Gonna look to the inside into one, but there is a lap truck in his way. They're gonna split him coming off of 2-3 wide with a lap truck in the middle.
Look at this. Charlie Widener charging Charlie on the scene just like that.
Montalban in the wall, gonna get passed by Charlie.
2-spot swing there for the 21, and the bleeding's not done yet as Justin Michael is to his inside. But how about Charlie Widener? Contact with Heath Smith there, battling for second.
Hard battles here inside. The top five as we're 3 wide. Lehman to the bottom. Cleaver in the middle. Maul up top. Sisler looking for that top spot now.
This is a
Mitten's
mess.
gonna take that bottom. Kerry Cleaver lost 4 spots through 1 corner there.
Oh, boy.
3 wide again.
I thought Talladega was
dude.
last week as Will Kirk absolutely muscling this truck.
Oh, Sisler into the wall.
And that will send him.
Sisler making contact.
That'll put him outside of the top 10.
And just as fast as... Oh!
The yellow
Around.
flag
It's
Caution is out.
Tyler Eberts, maybe?
Peyton Bass, I believe, the lap truck that was coming through.
Oh, something big time broken on the 82 of Bass. He has had a rough night. No way around it. Whew. Well, we could collect ourselves a little bit from that one. Crazy, crazy stuff. So that is a 9 of Will Kirk trying to get through on Bass. We'll dive to the inside. And, it's not quite clear.
Good news standing for Dakota Floyd, who had to pit from the top 3. Looks like he will be the first car lap down, hopefully to get the lucky dog here.
And the thing that I said a moment ago about catching a caution at a weird point and not wanting Raul Alvis to be the race leader when that happened, well, it happened.
Lots of drivers down pit road.
Crucially, one driver not down pit road, and it's Rod Mitten. So he will be the race leader, assuming that he didn't just stay out to lead a lap. Race off pit road goes to Alvis. Heath Smith is out second. Justin Michael gets back ahead of Charlie Widener. And Matt Montalban, the 5th driver, out. That is good news for him because he was starting to hemorrhage positions pretty quickly on the older tires. So this will get him a net few positions inside the top 10, close to the top 5. But the curious case of Rod Mitten, who we mentioned earlier, has had a quietly good season. He's missed a few races, but is in the hunt to be in the chase despite the fact that he's missed a couple races. Got himself a podium at Martinsville about a month ago. And here he is leading with 20 laps to go, but he is certainly going to be outgunned at the front of this field.
Looks like he last came down pit road on lap 66. So theoretically, with the cautions that we have seen, he should be able to make it to the end on fuel. That being said, he will be on 16 lap older tires than the rest of the whole field.
And that is tough. That's going to be a difficult one to pull off.
I think tough is an understatement on that one. I know firsthand, fresh tires are slick here.
Yeah. I wasn't going to bring that up, but
Nothing more needs to be said, but we'll leave it there. Fresh tires are slick,
Yes.
nonetheless. 16 lap old tires starting from the pole.
And there's no guarantee that the drivers behind Rod Mitten don't run into the issues with the fresh tires here. Because, again, they all have them, presumably. It's going to take a lap or two of coddling to get these tires up to snuff. It's not very easy to coddle them when you're trying to battle for position inside the top 5, or indeed trying to go for the win. It is a...
Yep. And as we go through, keep an eye on Dakota Floyd, last car on the lead lap.
Submitting the control truck here with much older rubber than everybody around him. And he does not get a great start there. Alvis has the lead already. We're not even out of the quad oval.
Flying start from Alvis. Michael going to pull alongside Mitten into 1.
They're bottled up behind this 92 truck. Smith and Widener as Starcher getting a bit crossed up there with Will Kirk. See some smoke.
Back out.
Smoke further back. I think we're good to stay green.
Oh,
As, whoa!
Oh no!
What in the world?
Piling up.
What a mess. That
Man.
just took out a ton of good trucks. What the
Charlie
hell was
Widener
that?
is toast.
All this, I'm wondering, on that restart, he beat the driver to the line. Rod Mitten. I'm wondering if he didn't pick up a penalty from that and dove it down pit road to serve a black flag, because they do not, under any circumstances, whether it's your fault or not your fault, clear black flags here in Max V. They're consistent. They've never cleared to 1. But holy cow. It's going to take me a second to find this one here for the replay, because so many positions changed hands. It is absolutely buried here in the race log. Here we go. That's Alvis there on the bottom of the track. We'll back this up a little bit more, try and get a little friendlier angle on this. Riding with Tyler Starcher.
So just heard over the radio chatter, Alvis did have a drive-through for passing the leader before the start-finish line.
And that is, it's one of those situations where having a dedicated race control would certainly help the situation out there, because Alvis didn't do anything wrong. But this, you may argue that this was definitely a little bit more on the driver who was in control of the field at the time. Electing to pit. He does stay pretty neatly to the bottom of the track. Now, how aware the other drivers around him were that he was coming to pit road before that, I'm not sure. So, Mitten gets into the back there of Charlie Widener. So, Widener goes around. There's the 012 of Tyler Starcher around. James Lehman takes a shot off the hood. Will Kirk, Greg Mall, Mike Milfelt with a big shot. There's Kerry Cleaver piling in. Zachary Groover into Kerry Cleaver there as well. I mean, it's almost easier to tell you who isn't in this crash. They're coming in from every single side of the frame here. Justin Michael didn't get a piece of this. Heath Smith, I don't think, got a piece of this. I think everybody else behind got something, if not completely destroyed.
Matt Mottenbolt might be the only one in that group who made it through.
Oh, yeah.
Barely squeaked by.
Michael's through. Smith is through. Yeah, Matt hardly going to take anything out of that, if nothing at all.
And Greg Mall squeaked through as well. Oh, no, he did not.
No, he took some damage at least, but yeah.
Made it through the original and then got tagged.
Let's go kickpot cam with Will Kirk in the 9 truck. Absolute mass confusion and chaos and calamity. He gets through, but he takes a shot to the front end there. I mean, still, I think, in the long run, going to be okay. That's why they call it the big one. And thanks to Peyton Bass for hanging in the chat here as well. Yeah, this has been a bit of a rough race here tonight. That is for sure. But I thought the big ones were for last week. Were they not? Is Charlotte Motor Speedway known for the big one? We've had at least 2, maybe 3 tonight. Well, we're coming to a restart with 14 laps to go. It's now Justin Michael and Heath Smith on the front row. They made it through that. Rod Mitten did not. Matt Montalbot did. Big jump there for Michael.
And,
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson's slow.
You can see the damage on the front end of his truck, and Chucky Walden.
Wrecking again.
Oh man, those are some huge shots. Yeah, Chucky Walden, I don't think he realized how damaged Mark Jackson was. I don't think maybe Mark Jackson knew how damaged Mark Jackson was. But him and Walden get crossed up, and that landed square in the laps of multiple drivers here. And this has been a Charlotte race to dismember.
Oh man. Brad Slagle takes a huge hit to the inside wall.
And that's the first time we've said Brad Slagle's name here tonight. Man, what a rough night for most of this field. Boy, oh boy. We'll just take it from the green because that's the only marker that I could find here. We know where this starts. And poor Chucky Walden, we pointed out how good of a night he was having, and all of a sudden he got involved in one accident, and now he'll be involved in a second. You can see that white and red truck there on the bottom. That is Mark Jackson already with damage on the front end of that truck. You can see he is struggling to hang on to that machine. It is damaged pretty badly. So Jackson just trying to pull the parachute and get out of Dodge. Walden is there, though. So as Jackson's trying to come up the track, Walden is trying to come down, not realizing the speed differential between the two. They get crossed up. Here's Walden down right into Brad Slagle there. And Slagle going to hit the point of the wall. That is broken sternum city if this was not in the sim. And hopefully he's not in a motion rig. Otherwise it might be anyway. Another hard hit for Jackson. Ryan McRoberts gets decimated in this. Walden with a ton of damage there. And poor Riley Laverne cannot stay out of the caution all of a sudden.
Man, Scott Patton thought he was going to get through Mark Jackson back across the track.
Yeah. Add Patton to the list of drivers who wish they were anywhere else right now. We'll go kick pot here with Patton. There's the lane, and it's gone. And a shot from Kyle Kabash from behind for good measure. Ouch. Damn, 12 cautions. I would not have thunk it. I know it got a little bit messy at the end of the Venom Truck Series race. But we started a bit messy here tonight.
Yep, I do believe that the Venom race only had about 6 cautions, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we were close to double digits, but we certainly didn't get there. Had a decent green flag run in the middle of that. And then, the normal stacking Matryoshka doll of cautions at the end of the race that happen from time to time. Certainly are not immune from that on a Thursday night. But restart with 10 to go. Justin Michael, this has worked out quite well for him. But, like you pointed out before the last restart, Dakota Floyd was at the tail end of the field. He's not at the tail anymore. Brother, he's restarting 7th. He is on a mission.
Yeah, I think these last 2 cautions, being able to get through unscathed has helped him tremendously get back into this race.
We've got over 30 people tuned in for the end of this one. Thanks to everybody that's hanging out with us here tonight. Drop us a chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. 15 miles to go when we get back to the stripe. Justin Michael and Heath Smith. Rod Mitten there in third, again on 16-lap older tires compared to the drivers around him. Wilkirk on the outside of row number 2. Monsenwald and Sisler on row 3.
Green,
10 to go.
Good getaway for Michael. Mitten going to be underneath Heath Smith into 1.
Couple heat cycles on these tires now. Mitten might have a little bit more of a fighting chance, and you see the shade rolling over the Charlotte Motor Speedway here as well. Mitten is back up to second. Kirk now to the inside of Heath Smith for third. You don't want to give Justin Michael any room to operate with here. That is exactly what's happening here. Coming to 9 to go as Kirk gets him stacked up. Sisler riding the wall. Tail grind, and again, nowhere to go. Right at the choke point, there's Dakota Floyd. Greg Mall in it as well. Goodness gracious. It is an absolute bloodbath in the Queen City. Heads will roll.
Man, oh man.
Golly. We'll go quarter speed here. And you see Kirk is loose. Looked to be all on his own. But Monsenwald already in a tight spot there. It got even tighter. And up into Sisler he goes. Sisler's going to tail grind the wall off the front nose of Dakota Floyd. Greg Mullen with nowhere to go. There's Billy Baumgartner into Tyler Ebert, or rather Tyler Starcher. Tyler Ebert's in there somewhere as well. There's the 24 truck of Justin Ritchie, who's been in like 4 cautions tonight. Oh, my Lord.
I'm not sure very many people who haven't been in 4 cautions tonight.
No. I think you're right. I truly, when you give out the rule at the beginning of the night, 16x drive-through, 21x disqualification, I'm shocked we have not hit that yet for a few of these drivers, because they legitimately have been in, most of them through no fault of their own. Most of the people have been in at least 3, if not 4 cautions already, and that should get some pass-through penalties going here. My goodness.
That being said, if my scoring is correct, there are only 13 trucks on the lead lap.
Wow. I think you may be right. It'd be Michael, Mitten, Smith, Floyd, and Baumgartner in the top 5. He's been in multiple accidents tonight. That truck still looks relatively clean, though. Starcher, Ebert, Sisler, Mall, and Kirk, who were all just in that crash. Monsenwald and Justin Ritchie.
I believe Kerry Cleaver would also be included in those. He is just coming off of pit road in front of the field.
He certainly is.
Could still be on the lead lap.
Well, there's James Lehman in the chat, not very happy. Yeah, I can imagine. It was looking pretty good until until you weren't. Thanks to Rud Dog, Rudy, for hanging out with us. Thankfully, to the copium abuser, the pace truck is invisible. Unlike the days of NASCAR Racing 3, when it was not invisible, but it couldn't take any damage. You can give yourself damage, and your spotter would get really mad at you as well. That was good stuff. Well, has Justin Michael got this race won? Not sure yet. I can tell you this much, though. Rod Mitten is putting up one hell of a fight here on much older tires. Nearly 20 lap differential between his tires and everybody else's, and he still went out and took second back by force from Heath Smith. Smith now back on row number 2 with Dakota Floyd, both of whom were involved in that accident. We'll see if they're going to be able to rally here, or if this race just got handed to Justin Michael. 6 laps to
Green
go.
flag, green flag.
Michael good off the line. Mitten a slow getaway on the outside line. Smith gonna look for the second spot into 1 on the fresher tires.
Billy Bumgarner making a move to the inside of Dakota Floyd. Bumgarner may be in for a podium position here with a relatively clean truck.
Floyd's truck twitching through 1.
Yeah, he's gotten
Gotta
damage.
be nursing. Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, Greg Mull is loose. Off the corner.
he'll bring it to pit road. So will Scott Patton. Heath Smith not out of it. He is trying to reel in Justin Michael with 5 to go. Mitten, what a performance. Still in 3rd. Tyler Starcher running in 4th. Billy Baumgartner in 5th. They have pulled away from the rest of the field. Top 3 with real separation here. Caution is out. It is Jeff Mann around. And that is caution number 14, as Mann is already back into pit lane. But we are going to overtime. Back it up. It's already in progress there. Man, I would imagine with some damage. And that truck just gets out from underneath of him. Saves it, and then it heads back up the hill. Once it does that, you are not saving it anymore. And, towed very quickly with the field approaching. That's good heads up there from the 425. That will put us under the caution for the 14th time here this evening. I would imagine that is probably not what Heath Smith wanted to see, because he was actually rolling there pretty well.
Yeah, he definitely had a run. Now we'll have to start beside Justin Michael instead of a row behind him.
And that has not really worked for anybody tonight. Against anybody, I should say. Not just against Justin Michael, but being not the control car has been difficult, to say the least.
I think there was only one restart where Lehman and Michael stayed side by side with each other into turn 1.
You're asking for Riley Laverne to lock in? Poor Riley, who I'm not even sure is on the track right now, to be honest. Riley has been in multiple accidents here this evening. That poor 19 truck has been through a lot. Not necessarily any of Riley's fault. I think lots of wrong place, wrong time.
Man, I tell you what, we'll talk early about your big movers. Billy Bumgarner from 38th to 5th.
Oh boy. Daytona winner to start this season. He'd love to get back on the podium for the 2nd time after the night that he's had. Granted, most of his big cautions were early. He was involved in that first real choke point accident at turn number 4 as well. So this HendrickCars.com crew, separate from Jack Watts's, has had some opportunities to fix this truck up, and it looks awfully good here. Looking for a restart. Headed into overtime inside the top 5. Looks like 12 trucks on the lead lap. Justin Michael, Heath Smith, row 1. Ron Mitten, Tyler Starcher, row 2. Billy Bumgarner, Matt Sisela, row 3. Tyler Ebert, Justin Ritchie, row 4. Matt Montalbalt and Will Kirk on row 5. Dakota Floyd and Kerry Cleaver, both in under this most recent caution, but they will restart on row number 6. Will this be the final caution? Will this be the run to the checkers?
Just have to make it to the white.
Easier said than done.
Lloyd and Kirk finding their way into their position in this field. Who will it be?
Pace truck is off. First of a potential 3 overtime attempts here at Charlotte.
Green flag, green flag.
Michael with a good jump.
Heath Smith slow on that outside line. Mitten's gonna have him into turn 1. Good start for Mitten.
Man, what a run from Rod Mitten. He may not be done yet. Just to say he can't reach out and take the win.
And he's got a head of steam down the backstretch. Gonna look in line.
He's going for it. To the line will we see the white. Michael able to pull a bit of a gap out of turn number 4. The race is official. Smith now fighting to the outside of Ron Mitten. So all but set up Justin Michael for the win as Smith will take P2.
Smith with a head of steam. Can he make anything happen in 3 and 4?
Maybe one lap more, and we'd be talking about Heath Smith taking the win here tonight, but it is Justin Michael who will hang on for the win at Charlotte. 87 goes back-to-back in the Queen City. Heath Smith, Rod Mitten on the podium. Justin Ritchie, who was wrecked early, will find his way back to 4th. Billy Bumgardner will hang on for a top 5. Will Kirk with a solid drive up to 6th there on the final restart. Tyler Starcher, Dakota Floyd, Matt Sisler, and Tyler Ebert. The rest of the top 10. But this is win number 4 on the season for Justin Michael. The second of his Max V career here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That is overall victory number 15 as Michael entered the night as the points leader and is well on his way, potentially, to a regular season championship. Waiting for the motor to go. And there it goes. Right on cue. Oh, man. You think we haven't done that a time or two? That is win number 14 in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series for Justin Michael, who has won many other times here on this channel as well. It's always the same MO. That TRD power plant ain't making it very far into the burnout. Justin Michael, 4th win of the season. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to Heath Smith, and we will talk to Rod Mitten, your 3 podium finishers here this evening. In just a moment, Justin Ritchie and Billy Bumgardner, 2 drivers who were in the thick of it all night, will finish up with top 5s. Billy Bumgardner goes plus 33 en route to a top 5 here tonight. Awesome stuff. Will Kirk in 6th, Tyler Starcher, Dakota Floyd, Matt Sisler, Tyler Ebert, the rest of the top 10. 11th for Matt Monsabolt, and last driver on the lead lap is Kerry Cleaver in 12th. Greg Moll will finish in 13th. David Rigsby will finish in 14th. Scott Patton will finish in P15. Trent Drum in 16th. It's Chris Braley in 17th. Charlie Widener in 18th. Justin Bell, Chucky Walden will round out the top 20. 21st for Jeff Mann. 22nd for Chris Sargent. Riley Laverne in 23rd. Mark Jackson, Zachary Gerver will round out the top 25. 26th for Raul Aldis, who'll add a lot of laps here tonight. Kyle Kabash will finish in 27th. Ryan McRoberts, Mike Milfelt, and James Lehman will finish in 30th. 31st for Brad Slagle. 32nd for Peyton Bass. It is Dana Rogers in 33rd. People's Champ Bill Paradise in 34th. Jack Watts in 35th. Caden Moreland, Aiden Young, Brandon Groover, Jordan Neese, Nathan Carroll round out the top 40. Greg Parmalee in 41st. Waldy Turheimer and Matt Rodolasso, the 43 drivers who took the green flag here this evening. DNQs for Sean Ryan and Rob Haynes. Where do we even start on a night like tonight? Goodness gracious. We'll start by fading out the music, and we'll start by going in search of your third place finisher here this evening, up onto the podium for the second time here this season. Always great to talk to driver 92. It's Rod Mitten back in booth 200. How about it?
Hey fellas, good to see you. I feel like I'm always up here at the end of the Wreck Fest.
Well, I think it's a little bit different than what we saw at Martinsville earlier this season, for a number of reasons. First of all, you're in the top 10 most of the night here tonight after starting a little bit deeper in this field. Once you got into the top 10, you didn't hardly leave it. And then an interesting strategy call at the end of this race to try and give yourself some track position inside of 20 to go.
Yeah, I knew in practice we were definitely going to be a top 10 truck. Didn't really have a great qualifying run. Just trying to be conservative and not spin out since I knew guys were going to be getting sent home with 46 entries, I think. But yeah, pretty much just kind of had a different strategy call than I thought we were going to have when I saw some guys coming in around 35 to go. If by a miracle we stayed green there, we were going to be set pretty good, having not take a green flag stop like a lot of the guys would, and probably would have cycled still back out to the top 3 or 4, kind of where we finished anyway. So I think kind of in the end ended up where I figured we would end up. The late cautions probably helped us on the older tires for sure.
And that was going to be my next question as well. 16-lap tire differential to you and everybody else. With the way that the cautions fell, were you surprised that you were able to still, muscle up Heath Smith there battling for second late in this one?
It seemed that the top lane, obviously all night, just couldn't really hook up and go except for when the guy jumped it on me and took off. But yeah, it seemed like third was the best spot, but then, he was able to get back around me there. I don't know what happened on the last lap. I got blasted from behind, but we held on to it and glad to get another top 3. We're eyeing up a playoff berth here, so just happy to get another good points tonight.
There was plenty of blasting all around the joint here tonight. Joshua, what you got?
Man, you just mentioned points. You are the first truck above the cut line. Got to be feeling good to take a P3 after a night like tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think 3 races in, we were probably 35th in points or something like that. So it's been a climb, just having to get good runs put together, try to just be a little bit more conservative with our races, but that's the goal, to make the playoffs and see what can happen from there.
Certainly great stuff. Very interesting race here tonight, but you were a positive part of it, so that's always good. And it's always great to get to talk to you at the end of the night here on a Thursday night. So let's get some shout-outs going before we let you go.
For sure. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Appreciate putting this on, hanging out. I enjoy coming up here and talking to you. Cool cats. So, yeah.
All righty, partner. Well, thanks for the time here tonight. Go celebrate the P3, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Cool. I'll celebrate with bed.
I will not be too far behind him. We'll pull up your second place finisher. It's great to get to talk to Heath Smith here as well. P2 for driver 1. Welcome back to booth 200.
Thank you. It's been a minute, but I'm glad to finally get me a good run and have a good finish out of this deal.
Well, in that Giants crash there at the end of the race, you were one of about 3 trucks that actually managed to make it through that relatively unscathed. We were kind of wondering how much of it you actually got there, but the truck seemed to be okay, especially late trying to track down Justin Michael there.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I had any incidents, no damage. And the caution before the last one, I actually felt pretty good about the truck. Like, I felt like I was kind of creeping up on Justin before that last caution come out. And unfortunately, the caution come out, and Justin's really good. Justin. And but he's really good at Charlotte also. So I'll take a second to him anytime. But yeah, I didn't have no damage. I had a pretty clean truck. I don't think I had any incidents tonight, actually.
Well, you may be one of the only ones. Joshua, what you got?
Congrats on the P2. Very good for points as we start to dwindle towards the chase. What are you looking at going forwards after a night like tonight? How do you rally from a P2 on a race like we had tonight to move forward and keep your spot in points?
As an admin of the league, I don't really know how to answer that question. We've got some stuff we got to clean up and take care of for a Charlotte race, a 1.5-mile track. That's not really the race we want to see for Max V. But for myself, it's always just about taking care of the truck and just getting the best finish you can. I try to take pride in having respect for these guys and earning respect and not causing any incidents. So, for me, it's just getting the best finish I can each night without any incidents and not causing any drama. But yeah, we've got some work to do, and but I'll take my P2 and we'll move on to the next one and see what we can do.
Yeah, I know. It certainly seemed like you had a little something saved up there at the end for Justin Michael. Would have loved to have seen you guys go at it for the last handful of laps there. But still, great to get to talk to you at the end of a Thursday night here. Let's get some shout-outs going before we let you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank James Lehman, Max V, and all the admins for Max V for giving us a place to race on Monday nights and Thursday nights. And then, of course, Turn 200, Tommy, Joshua, doing an absolutely amazing job. I love watching the replay back. Enjoy seeing my good times, my bad times, my mistakes, whatever happens. And then, of course, I got to thank Scott Patton at Paints for his badass paints that he puts on these trucks every Thursday night. So thank him, and if you need a paint, go check him out. And just looking forward to the rest of the season here. And got to thank Highline, Charlie and Michael. They was having great runs tonight, and they just got caught up in other people's drama, and it happens, so it is what it is.
It certainly does happen, but it is unfortunate that it happened to them. They were both running in the top 5 when they ran into those problems. So, but you come out with a pretty good night, all things considered. P2 tracking down Justin Michael there at the end of the race. We'll get you that one better here soon, but go celebrate the P2, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you for what you do.
Well, this will be the 4th time we drag up Justin Michael as a race winner here this season. Win number 14 overall with Max V. And a very eventful night here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But this is win number 2 in the Queen City for driver 87. Welcome back to the booth.
I appreciate it. I don't know if it was the best of wins with, as many wrecks as we had. I thought it was Martinsville out there.
Well, yeah, it wasn't quite 28 cautions here tonight, but certainly a little bit of a messy race here tonight. And, there's no doubt, especially anytime we come to a 1.5 miles, you're always at the top of the list to get that win. But one by one, your contenders for this race all kind of shuffled out or got shuffled into the wall or the catch fence or the grandstands or wherever they found their way out of this race. But, I don't know. How did you keep yourself out of trouble here tonight? Because it was not that hard to come by, and you didn't find any.
It's surprising. I almost, when the one guy pitted there and another guy wrecked off of 4, I almost T-boned him, and I just got lucky tonight. That's all it is. Tony Stewart always said, I'd rather be lucky than good.
Well, lucky for you, you're both. What did it take? A little bit of a different vibe here tonight. With kind of the sunrise race, which was always a Truck 200 thing. I don't think James was intending for that to happen, but the track conditions didn't seem to change a whole bunch, but a little bit of a dynamic track out there as well.
I thought it was pretty racy. We had a really good run there from, I think it was lap 15 to lap 25 coming to the stage, and I was really getting the high side wound up and working, and I was pulling away from people and passing people. And, if the whole race would have been like that, had we got some really good long runs, I think the race would have been amazing.
Joshua, what you got for your race winner?
Congrats on number 4 of the season. Definitely solidifying that top step in points. It's just an overall good run as usual. Being as many trucks as we had, we usually don't see you qualify, but how different did tonight feel, knowing you had to put in a lap and start in the field rather than at the tail?
So I watched I think it was last week's broadcast, and I heard you say that, and I'm thinking to myself, I always try to qualify. It's just I wreck. So qualifying attempt is always made. Let's preface that unless it's Talladega. Sometimes I don't there, but yeah, the qualifying attempt is always made, and I don't think I'm going to be running for points for this particular season, so I just kind of going out there and qualifying and just kind of throwing it around, see if I can get a really good lap, and sometimes it doesn't work, but no, starting up front, I mean, definitely helps, especially here. You can't pass at this track. I think I was one of the only ones getting the top side wound up, so that was really helping us there. And so, again, hey, we got long green flag runs, and I did start in the back. Probably, I might have got up through there, but I don't know if I'd have got stage points so had I started last. That would have been pretty difficult.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal conditions out there tonight with everything going on. So maybe this was a good night to start at the front of the field. That certainly went a long way in preserving the truck here tonight. But great stuff. Congrats on another win. Let's get some shout-outs going before we let you go.
Yeah, just, you guys call great races always. And like I was saying a couple minutes ago, I was watching last week's too. So I always go back and rewatch them. And, man, hopefully we had a good crowd out there tonight, everybody watching. And, James for putting on the league again. And we have some donations now. So we have a coin thing going on for race winners. So we got about 17 drivers or so who donate us. We really appreciate them for helping pay for the broadcasts and the races and stuff. So, and yeah, just Kerry, I know he pays for a lot of stuff too, so we appreciate him a lot. So, I don't know. I'm tired, and this was a really long night, and I want to go to bed now. So I will see you guys next week.
I'm right there with you, partner. We'll hope to talk to you again, but to go celebrate the win in bed.
Thanks, guys.
That is now your 4-time race winner here this season, Justin Michael. Interesting night. Definitely not the league's best showing, but maybe one of Justin Michael's best showings. Like you said, he actually started at the front of this field here tonight, and it was about survival, and nobody else that was going for the win here tonight could survive other than driver 87. So, interesting night. What do you make of it all?
Yeah, it definitely was interesting. My biggest takeaway is I feel better knowing that I wreck a lot of the time in qualifying as well. So don't feel quite so bad personally. But no, it was a good showing for Michael. He's always got that short run pace when he needs it, but also he makes it happen at the end of the night as well. So good showing. Looking forward to seeing how tonight's race shakes up the points with a couple of your top 5 in points ending up towards the rear of this field.
Yeah, if nothing else, this is a topsy-turvy finishing order. Some drivers outside of the cut line with great finishes. Some drivers close to the cut line with great finishes. And some drivers that were pretty comfortable coming into tonight with 5 to go. Maybe sweat it out a little bit with 4 to go now before we close it off from the regular season to the postseason. Thanks to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. We had over 30 people watching at one point. Interesting night for that to happen, but appreciate everybody that stopped by and posted a chat. Thanks to Greg Mall, thanks to Red Dog, thanks to Copium Abuser. James Lehman, of course, thanks to him for everything that he does. Thanks to the Motichek gang, as always. Shout out to Robin and Bailey. And thank you to Peyton Bass for stopping by, Nathan Carroll as well, Martha Turheimer. Thank you to David Tabullo. And thanks to Rob Haynes, Michelle Kirk, and Marilyn Beck. I think that's everybody. But appreciate everybody for stopping by. We've got some more stuff coming up. Hopefully tomorrow we will have last night's ASRL season opener, the ASRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. That will not be in the live tab. That will be in the video tab. So be sure to stay tuned for that one. It will be posted sometime tomorrow evening, more than likely. Action live again next Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series regular season finale. Boy, we talk about long race tonight. Get ready for 250 laps around Rockingham next Tuesday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern time for that one. Good luck to Joshua Motichek on that one, and good luck to everybody's shoulders, because that one's going to suck. That will lead us into next Wednesday night for the SRL Sports Car Championship presented by Purple Haze Autosport. Oh, and where are we for that one? I do not remember. I had it prepared last night, but I don't remember it now. But I do.
will be at Dakota.
Oh yeah, Circuit of the Americas, of course. Thank you very much for that. I know we'll be next Thursday night at the Nashville Super Speedway, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. For more Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series action, thanks to all the Max v admins who have a lot of work to do here tonight. Thank you to Carrie Cleaver and Deb with CNC Home Designs in Central Florida. If you need a custom home built, whether it is a quaint house or the house of your dreams, hit up Carrie Cleaver, and he will get you right as rain down there in Florida. Appreciate his continued support of Max V and the CNC Home Designs Truck Series. And thank you to Joshua Motichek as well, as always, for hanging out with us on a Thursday night and providing unrivaled insight into what was a very wild night here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That's all we got for you here tonight on Turn 200 until we meet again. From Charlotte Motor Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to Justin Michael on his 14th victory with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series and his 4th victory of the season. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.